ladies and gentlemen, and this is the final week of the winter seasonal roundup. So this is the final week before I start my new format. I'll show you what it is when in the new season. Well, the new season's kind of started, but we'll get to that in a minute. But beforehand, let's just get through the rest of the shows because some of them have premiered or have finished already. So we're just gonna get through the rest of the shows, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, so I'm really glad at the way this show ended because I was getting bored with it. I was like, nothing's really happening. But now we have a villain. We have the setup for a revenge story, like an actual revenge story, because Hazel wants to kill him because, he killed his companion. Sansa wants to kill... I forget why Sansa wants to kill him. I think it's something to do with, his childhood. Sorry wants to kill, they want to kill this guy, and that's basically the gist. And this guy is clearly going to be a match for them because he outwitted all of them, and he was extremely powerful, so this is not going to be easy for them. I would suspect that they're going to do another season because this has not ended, and it pretty much sets up that the story is going to continue, so I'm really looking forward to that. I didn't like this show as much as I liked the last one, but I'm really glad the last couple episodes have actually left an impact on me and left the show where, I really wanted it to be, because I was getting bored, and I was really sad that I was getting bored because I love this series. So, I don't know why this show spends so much time on Song's backstory, because that could have been summed up in one episode. We could have spent more time with the actual... there's really no plot. The only two plot points are... Chateau didn't remember her family, and Song killed, his family because he's adopted and took his... That's literally the only plot point this show has. Because I can't remember anything else from this show. I don't think there ever was another plot point. I do like the idea of the orphan assassins. I think that's very interesting, and it looks like Ayumi's not dead yet. So they might do another season of this. I really hope not, because this was really just lousy. I'm glad they kind of dropped the romance angle, because that was just ew on so many levels. But I don't like this show. I think it's boring. I think it's lazy. I think it spends so much time on Song's backstory. It's very clear they don't have another plot. They don't have an actual plot. I'm really annoyed because I went into it kind of wanting to like it, but obviously I really don't. What I love about this ending is not just the fact that they kiss, but we'll get to that because that bothers me, but we'll get to that in a minute. Not just the fact that, everybody else knew they liked each other, everybody else knew they wanted to be an item, and I love the fact that, Hirano contrives a reason for them to meet up with each other. That's so cute. And I love everybody in this cast. I think they're all great. There's nobody I don't like. I love how supportive they all are, and I love the fact that and this is what really, really gets me and what stuns me, is in most shows at this point, they kiss each other, and then they just go back to the way things were. No, they establish that they're dating. They actually say, we're dating. And they're getting another series, or I don't know if it's going to be a movie or OVA, but there's going to be a new anime project, which I think is really cool because, it means that we've already established that they're a couple. And we kind of got the sense earlier in the series that they were a couple, but we already established that they were a couple, which is really awesome. And it's really nice to see that this show firmly establishes that, because clearly the manga's still going, so clearly, they don't get together at the end of the manga. They get together, partly through the manga, which is really nice. The only thing I don't like, and the thing that makes me angry, is for whatever reason, because we've seen them kiss each other before. We've seen them kiss each other on the cheek. We've seen them hold hands. We've seen them, hug each other. But the kiss was blurred out. the kiss was censored, or the kiss was covered by a screen flare. Why? Why? Other than the fact that you don't want to see two gay people kissing, which, come on, it's 2022, for God's sakes. We don't need this shit. We don't need people, the studio, and I blame the studio, by the way, I don't blame the director, because it's clearly a studio mandate. Because the studio, for whatever reason, decided to blurt out them kissing. Why would you do that? If we do get a season 2, they need to have a proper kiss. I'm not gonna arbitrarily say this is homophobic just yet, because we've clearly seen them be affectionate with each other, and it's just the kiss. But if they do a season 2, they need to do better than that. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. That's the only thing that I think is really stupid, and I don't really understand why they did that. So, moving on. So, it feels like whoever wrote this doesn't have an actual ending in mind, or doesn't have an actual plot, because it's basically just everybody, everybody beats the girl and she does something. I don't hate this show, but honestly, it's not very memorable. It's the art design is what's memorable. The character. I really like Jonah. I like the guy with the mask. I want to see more of him. If they do a sequel, which I don't think they will, I want to see more of him, because nothing really happened that left an impact with me. Other than the villains getting defeated, I don't really know. Like, there's no, it doesn't feel satisfying to me. So I kind of hope they do a season 2, so they'll actually, have somewhere to go with this show. And that was Tribe 9. It was okay. I might play the video game to see how that goes, but So, their description of why, I don't even remember what it is. All I know is that their explanation as to why Bisco survived is, like, really, really stupid. But I do think it's interesting that now, we have an actual goal, because he's basically immortal now, and he doesn't want to be immortal, so they're going to have to find a way to fix that. So that's something. That's, an actual goal. I think they're going to do more with the series, because the series isn't that bad. It's okay. I don't love it. I don't usually like these open-ended shows, but I do like the relationship between him and Milo. I don't know. The show pronounces it Milo, but it's spelled Milo, so I don't know. I guess it's Milo because that's more fitting with his sisters. I don't know. I'm not going to argue with that. Anyway, so they're going off to find this Ross, and now Milo, I'm just going to call him Milo in the meantime. Now he's on the wanted list too, which I don't entirely, I guess it's just because he's associated with a mushroom keeper, so that somehow means that he's, a bad guy now. That should be interesting, whatever they do with this in the future. So I guess you could look forward to that. I guess. I think that's it. I can't think of, I'm not watching 24th Ward anymore. No, fuck that show. That show is stupid. So, other than that, oh yeah, there is one more show. Actually, never mind. There's one more I have to do. So, actually two more, because Digimon ended exactly the way, we'll get to that in a minute. I think after watching this episode, I figured out the problem with this series. The problem with this series is that there's so much going on that it doesn't have a place to focus. So you have what's his face? Noe, who wants to study Vanitas. You have Vanitas, who is connected to the book. You have his childhood friend Domi, who I don't actually know what her premise is, but I know that she watched her brother die and she's dealing with that. And then you have Mikhail, who wants to find, who wants to know about his past. And then you have Jean who wants to be, and then there's the there's the naming, and then there's the blue vampire, and then there's the, Asofa just disappears, so I don't know what his deal is. And then you have him who wants to kill all of it. It's so much compacted into one series that everything becomes muddled, and you don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just don't have the mental capacity, because I think the fact that I'm technically on the spectrum kind of affects how I view anime, but maybe it's just me. So if other people, I like the art. I think the art is very pretty, and at the very least, they're doing something to give it a plot. But I don't really know if I like this series yet. I might watch, if they do a second season, I might watch that to see where that goes. But other than that, it's kind of on the fence for me still. So I don't really know what this show is going for. 'Cause it just kind of ends, like, Luke's in, like, Heroes in space now, and I'm really looking forward to the new season, because this has just been such a slog. Like, I liked Arc 5, despite its problems. I liked mostly I liked Yuri and parts of Arc 5, and I think he made that show better. I liked Zale until the ending. I loved 5Ds, but this show was just so boring, and the duels just had no impact. And, like, I'm not saying necessarily that they all have to be, high stakes, but one of them at least, most of them had no effect on the plot, and most of them were just like, oh, I want to make your I want to make you see that friendship is great. I don't fucking care. Like, I want at least some of these duels to have a impact, to have stakes. But nothing in this show felt like it had stakes. And which is why I'm looking for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush, because at least that has an interesting premise. Other than that, that's it for this season. Superlatives come out probably sometime next week. The best of, the worst of, best opening, worst opening. And the superlatives will be part of, the anime podcast, my seasonal podcast. So y'all can look forward to that, and I will see you in the next season.